Hey, how's it going? My name is Aaron Ball. I want to jump right into the information because this is going to be a full-on masterclass. Maybe you're looking at this on YouTube. Maybe you're on my landing page right now. I want to first tell you why you should listen to me and why you should actually take every single thing serious that I say in this video if you're interested in implementing webinars in your business. Matter of fact, it's safe to say that this may be the most important video that you've ever watched if you're looking to hit the next level with your business and get new clients, customers, patients, subscribers, whatever niche or vertical you're in. Leveraging webinars. First things first, I've collectively helped business owners generate over $150 million in sales online, and it's all verifiable at some point or another. Maybe you've already seen some proof. I'm going to show you countless amounts of proof that actually proves everything that I'm saying holds weight and is actually true. And furthermore, once you actually jump into the masterclass and you see all the things that I'm breaking down behind my screen or on my screen, you're going to see that I know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to understand how this process can help you go from where you are now, not doing webinars, or maybe you're doing webinars and you're not getting the result that you're looking to get, or maybe you think webinars are dead because you're following some outdated system. I'm going to show you what's working right now in 2025. There's multiple businesses that are following my system right now, generating millions and millions of dollars, getting new clients, new patients, new members into their community, or whatever it is that you do. You're going to be able to use webinars to provide your solution to the market at scale and sell your offer, your solution in a group setting following a proven process. I'm going to cover the funnel. I'm going to cover the automations. I'm going to cover the sequences. I'm going to cover the entire structure of your webinar. I'm going to cover the front end and the back end, so that way you can leave this masterclass full, understanding all the things that you need to do to run a successful webinar. And then if you're interested, I'm also going to have an opportunity to where me and my team will help you build everything out for you, and we'll help you with the implementation. But whether you're interested in working with me or not, you're still going to be able to watch this masterclass and learn everything you need to learn. And I'm also going to give you a couple free bonuses at the end of this video as well. That's going to show you and help you structure your webinar. And then it's going to help you create your actual hook for your webinar so that we can understand how to grab attention through running paid traffic and so much more. Like, enough is enough. I want you to dive into the information, and I really hope you take this video serious because it might just be the video that changes everything for your business. So let's dive in. Hey, how's it going? If you're looking at this video right now, a couple things that I want to do. I want to break down the webinar scaling system so that way you can understand really the full picture, the 30,000 foot overview of what needs to be done to ultimately implement webinars in the most scalable way possible, and then follow my proven system that I've used to help many different business owners of different walks of life generate 7 and even 8 figures online leveraging webinars. And then I'm also going to be breaking down how I don't always have slots available, but at the time of this video, if I do have slots available, you also will see a link below where you can apply to work with me and my team. We'll help you just build everything out for you. We'll help you with the implementation. We'll help you with the ongoing management. We'll scale your traffic, so forth and so on. But even if that's not you, even if you're not looking to work with me and my team in that capacity, this video will still show you the full picture so you can understand exactly what the process is when it comes to scaling webinars. So let's jump right into this. First things first, I want to just kind of break down, move myself out the way here. I want to just break down the webinar funnel in itself so you can understand that first part, right? So simple saying that I say all the time, traffic plus conversions equals cash. So if you drive traffic to a system that is proven to convert, that is a simple, smooth pathway to generating revenue for your business, whether that's in the form of new clients, new patients, new community members, new software downloads, new coaching customers, or whatever your niche is, whatever your vertical is. Understand that a webinar is just the medium, right? And the whole process is what we, excuse me, the whole process and system is what we're going to use to ultimately drive people to the medium, and then the medium is going to drive people to conversions so that way you can generate new business. So first things first, we're going to drive traffic on whatever platform that you're on. We definitely want to be running paid traffic too as well. But even if you're just doing organic traffic, you're going to drive traffic to a webinar registration page. On this webinar registration page, a couple things that we're going to do. As a matter of fact, let me show an example here just so you can get the full picture. All right, so this is just a template here, one of many of landing page structures that we tested, specifically the headline. But what you're going to do, you're going to drive traffic to a webinar registration page, and there's going to be a few core components that's going to be on that page. We're going to have a attention bar that has some form of scarcity and urgency that we want to engineer for anybody that, because first part is we got to get them to click on our ad, and then actually once they get to the webinar registration page, this page is going to do the rest of the work to ultimately get them to register and sign up for your training. And simple structure, we have attention bar, headline, subheader, call to action. Of course, we want to specify, what day is the event going to be on. So right here we have free virtual workshop this X day at X time. And then we want to kind of set the stage and talk about some of the benefits that they will be receiving in future pace. By the end of this training, you will learn. This is where we can put in like our mock-ups and specifically address all the things that you're going to be covering on the training and like what's in it for them. That's the question that you should answer on the landing page. Like, what's in it for me? If I come to your page and I'm considering registering for the event, why should I register? Why should I care about this? How will it help me? How will it speak to my problems? How will it get me from where I am now to the desires of where I want to go? Like, what's the transformation that's in it for me, right? That's what you want to communicate on this registration page. Then we want to be able to give some social proof. Then we want to give at the bottom, we want to give a little introduction about ourselves. And really credentialize ourselves and, position ourselves as that authority in the market, and then just another call to action. So it's pretty straightforward. And then once we click the call to action button, we want to make sure to get name, email, and phone number so that way we can follow up with our email and SMS marketing to ultimately get good show rates. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. Now, once they register, we then want to offer an upsell. And I'm just going to kind of talk about this concept at a base level. I don't want to go too super duper detailed here. I just want you to understand the concept. Let me give an example here so that way you can understand this at just a base level. I'm going to speak this example here. I'm going to speak from the frame of mind that we're spending money on ads, but understand the concept still holds true even if you're not spending money on advertising and right now you're driving traffic organically. So let's say, for example, so far we've spent $1,000 in ads, right? And let's say we're getting a $10 cost per lead, but then if this offer right here that we present, this process here, if we generate, because I want you to understand the mindset that you want to have when it comes to this front end offer that we're going to sell here. Let's say if we generate $500 from this, but we spent $1,000 on getting a $10 cost per lead, but we generated $500, right? The mind frame that you want to have is that you just alleviated some of your ad spend, and then conceptually you got back 50% of your ad spend, right? So again, in this example, $1,000 spent, we made $500. So now we're at $500 all in, or you can look at it as that I recoup some of my ad spend that I can dump back into advertising, right? So that's the first thing. This is going to help liquidate some of your ad spend. But then there's more benefits to this as well too, because if somebody, whatever the offer that you sell here, and we don't want to just throw together, like it should be like some type of bundled package. Like you want to be in a perfect sweet spot of like some video content. It also depends on your niche too as well. So I'm not going to give like a bunch of examples. I do have other content out there where I'll talk deeper about just this front end offer and making the best front end offer. But conceptually, you want to have like some video content, some written content, maybe a deliverable that they can leverage to best follow through and take notes and implement the system and everything that you're going to be teaching on the webinar. Or in some niches, it's not like it's an implementation thing. It may be if you have an offer at the end that is specifically around like services or a consultation call or application. You just want to have something that is basically pre-framing and prepping them for the actual workshop. And then the other thing here is what it does is it allows you to see who are the buyers that are already coming onto my list, because a buyer is more inclined to take you up on the next step to do business with you for your offer that gets presented on the webinar. So that's another thing that you're able to see. And let's say, when you're running paid traffic on these platforms, you're going to be testing different audiences and different creatives and different copy. But imagine if you can see like, all right, these audiences are producing buyers on the front end. You're going to be more inclined when it comes to optimizing your advertising to spend more money on the on the audiences that's producing you buyers. So that's another benefit. And then just in general, it's going to position the audience that takes us up on this offer. It's going to position you as an authority figure well before the training, and people are already going to be getting conditioned to learning from you. They're going to already be getting to get exposed to your teaching style, and it's really just going to do a great job at setting the stage for the people who take you up on this offer by the time they get to the event. So that's a few different benefits there that we can leverage. Now to go over to this is what I refer to as the Bodo page, which conceptually this is a bridge OTO, right? This is a one-time offer where it's not always applicable in every niche. So like, I also don't want you to complicate this process. If you're looking to get this implemented and rolled out fast, I would highly recommend you just focus on this and consider this later. Because even like, let's say that you end up wanting to move forward and we do the build out for you. We don't always launch with this out the gate. This may come later, but I'm going to give you a few example scenarios where this is a great opportunity to It all comes down to your economics and your business model to see if it makes sense, because you don't want to get in the habit of selling too many pieces. Like, you don't want to be taking pieces away from whatever the offer is that you're going to be selling on this webinar and then just putting it within here, because then that devalues this, and it just basically doesn't do a good job of maximizing the conversions here. So that's why I say, like, this is a little bit more advanced, but there's certain scenarios where, let's say, a few things that we've done that's worked really, really good is we sold a specific piece to the puzzle that was like something that could be done for the end user. I give you an example. Let's say that we're doing something that has to do with building out a CRM structure for your business model. And here on this Bodo, we offer them a free trial. One of the reasons why that would work very, very good is because, one, they're already getting further bought into the thing that they're going to be doing before they actually get into like your mechanism, your model. So in this example, let's say that this is like a biz op offer. I just now started car detail and I'm looking to scale my detailing business. I'm coming through here. I got my initial bundle that allows me to be more prepared for the workshop. I'm super locked in. I got my VIP offer here. And then I also have the opportunity to get a 30-day free trial. Again, this would come down to like, does this business owner know the economics to it makes sense? And they can, essentially be building continuity as well on the front end by, let's say if I offered a 30-day free trial and it's for some CRM system that's built specifically tailored to detail businesses, I'm already more bought in to the process that me as a customer, I'm already more bought into the process that this business is offering me, simply because I went on and committed to this 30-day free trial. And then from there, if we have everything dialed in to where we can make sure that we deliver and we support and we do all the things that need to be done to get them up and running on their free trial, then what are we doing? We're literally building continuity on the front end. And that doesn't even have anything to do with the offer that we're going to be selling. It's just a piece that is a instrumental piece they need it, whether they decide to do business with us or not. It's still going to be a stick component that helps complement that webinar offer, but it doesn't really take away from it. There's also scenarios where, let's say if you're in the online business or online store space, where if I upsold and sold you a done for you store build out here, that's another example where if I'm teaching how to do e-commerce, and I go ahead and I buy me an online store right here, whether I decide to continue to do business with whatever offer I have, whether it's a coaching offer, whether it's a community and course offer, whatever it is that is done on the webinar, I still need this. But again, if I deliver as a business, if I deliver on the product that I sold here at a very high level, I'm building more trust, I'm building more credibility, I'm further building that relationship with this potential customer that will later be a great prospect for my back end. So you see how like those are two different examples where this Bodo would really serve a great benefit to throw on. And then, like I said, it will, like, if we're selling something here and it's not a trial, all it's going to do is going to increase our AOV here, which is ultimately going to allow us to recruit more ad spend and alleviate more of that ad cost. So we can dump it back into ad spend and spend more money on ads and ultimately get more registrants. Because again, traffic plus conversions equals cash. If we have a process that is allowing us to spend more on traffic, then it is just a scalable process all around. There's a bunch more examples that I can go over in terms of different scenarios with the Bodo, but I don't want to overdo this process here. Just understand that there is opportunity there. I do have, if you have my Webinar Scaling Secrets book and you grab the bonuses and the actual course curriculum that comes with that, inside of that, I do cover a lot more examples and I show different metrics and things of that nature directly in the funnel. But this video is just to really give you the full overview. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the next topic here. So let's keep rolling. Next, we have our confirmation page. So on our confirmation page, pretty straightforward. We're confirming that they just registered for the webinar, but this is an area where we also want to have a call to action to go ahead and get them into our Facebook group or our school group or our Discord group or wherever you have your community. We just want to leverage this opportunity here for a form of community building. One reason why I like Facebook groups as well is because it's easy. It's not a lot of steps and actions required for somebody to go join a Facebook group. Some of these other platforms, you got to go and they got to create an account. They got to do all these other steps versus like the thing about Facebook groups. When people join Facebook groups, rarely do they ever leave them. One, Facebook doesn't necessarily do a great job at showing people how to actually leave the groups that they join. It's not like once you go into a group, there's a big call to action that says, hey, do you want to leave this group? Click here. So most of the time when people join Facebook groups, they don't leave them and they congregate in those Facebook groups. And basically you're creating like a net to where even for the people who come to your webinar, they don't buy your offer, they don't end up taking you up on whatever it is that you're offering right away. You now have another hub outside of our email list and our SMS list. We have another hub to reach out to our potential customers. And we know that there are potential customers because they would have never committed and registered for our webinar here if they didn't somewhat fit the criteria of who we're speaking to. So now we have another community where we can build our community, and this is a free community where we continue, like conceptually, this could continue to go down more and more and more in terms of what all we can do within this community. But again, I'm really giving you the 30,000 for the overview so you can understand all the areas of opportunity. I will talk more about this Facebook group towards the back end of this process, but that's what we do there. And then from here, we're gonna have our email and SMS sequences that ultimately will do all the things that need to be done. I like to have around about 18 email series, but that also includes post-webinar. So we're gonna have pre-webinar, post-webinar, but on the front end, this is about 9 emails. It's about 7 to 9 SMS, give or take. It depends on what all pieces of the funnel you have built out. For example, if we have a refer a friend, there's a concept that I also implement that gets free leads, literally free, to where anybody who registered, we also have like a little marketing and email and SMS sequence where we're going to market to people to drive them to refer a friend page. Well, ultimately, it's just a call to action to the people who already registered to see if they want to share it with a friend. It doesn't cost us nothing to hit our list, and we've already paid for the leads. And a lot of times we'll end up getting, somebody may refer a couple friends, so we just get some free leads. So that's another thing that we would do here. And then that's our sequence that we want to leverage our sequence to ultimately get people to show up to this webinar, right? Now, multiple things, of course, that can transpire. Let me back this up some. Okay, so now let's jump into the actual webinar itself. I do want to speak to you and give you an overview of like the actual structure of your webinar so you can really get a feel of like for what your webinar should do and kind of what process you should take during different steps of your webinar. But before I jump into that, let me finish just kind of explaining to you what should happen, whether they attend or they don't attend, and the different steps and minor nuances of what we can do there to make sure we're maximizing the engagement across the board in our entire webinar funnel, right? So let's just go over if they attend. So we're going to take them through, which I will be walking us through this, but we're going to take them through the actual webinar, right? And then there's two different paths, or a few different paths that can happen once you get to the end of your webinar and you ultimately make the offer. So typically for like in the digital product business, that space, we're going to have some form of a direct sign up, but there are some instances where even in some of the other verticals, or maybe like it's a local business or something, leveraging webinars and leveraging the one-to-many style of group selling, there's also group sign up opportunities or direct sign up opportunities in that group setting as well there. But conceptually, there's 3 different paths. Are we selling something direct to checkout where somebody can directly sign up on the webinar? Are we looking to just book appointments, or are we looking to book qualified applications? And then from there, we continue the process from qualified application. Maybe it's a triage close, maybe it's a follow-up call, going over the application and set the actual appointment. Maybe it's an application, then identify if they're a good fit, follow-up call, then invite them to come into your local practice or your whatever business. You have a business where people are going to come into your office, or maybe it's just you're looking to just book appointments directly off of the webinar. So there's a few different paths, right? So let's just say if you were doing a direct to checkout, then this is a path that you can take from a back end standpoint once somebody buys. So let's say, for example, you're in between like that $1,000, that $997 to $2,997 range, and you're doing a direct sign up directly off this webinar flow, right? Then we have the opportunity to sell OTOs, which is just another one-time offer where if somebody buys this offer, they then get hit with an upsell or a downsell. It all depends on your business model, your not really your business model, your actual niche to determine, does it make sense for you to have an OTO in certain capacities. So that will be for you to really decide, but I just want to point out the area of opportunity here that we have. And then once somebody buys, let's say, for example, if you're selling a coaching offer, or just a course, and then with that course, there's community, there's baked in accountability, there's baked in support, there's all different other types of benefits. Well, naturally, it's a normal progression to get welcomed into a new program. So this is where we can have the orientation to have, if applicable, because it depends on if this is like your model in terms of what you do. If you're selling a form of a digital product, coaching, courses, consultants, things of that nature, orientation to welcome them in. This is a super duper high converting approach here that can be leveraged, where if you have a back end offer, let's say you got a 5 to 10K offer on the back end, you can go from orientation to where there's a call to action in that orientation, where ultimately your objective is to get people to raise their hand. They value time more than money. They're already bought in. They like the process, and they want to hear more about that next step up where they can get even more support. They can get even more handhold, or maybe it's a done for you solution, or whatever the case may be. It's just a higher level offer. This is like where we can go right into like a success call, or however you want to frame this next step call. And then from there, this is where we have the high ticket back end sales process that can be done directly from somebody buying. And it's not even like some pitch fest type of a structure. It's not a hard sell. It's not a hard pitch. It's just you're in orientation. And in orientation, you're talking about what to expect. You're giving them a roadmap. You're really painting the picture of what needs to be done. You're talking about success stories. You're talking about what people need to do to be successful. You're making sure, like letting them know where they need to start. What do they need to implement? You're answering any questions in a group setting, orientation style, and preferably this should be somebody on your team, not like you as the authority figure. And then there's a call to action to see if they want to, book that call to go to the next steps. And then that's where they can find out more details about what you have to offer. So that's a great opportunity there where we can leverage to ascend people faster, right? And then I already explained kind of what happens here. No conversions. Remember I said back to that Facebook group, there's no conversions. We just want to make sure anybody that came and they spent this time with us on this webinar, they know about the Facebook group. Make sure they're on our email and SMS list so that we can continue to nurture your audience, present to them different offers. And then, like I have future clients and customers, because at the end of the day, this is still going to be, of course, we already know about, there's all types of revenue to be generated from the email, but then just that initial free group, because we're not going to have like 100% conversion rate on our confirmation page in terms of getting people to join this community. So we just want to give another opportunity, to make sure that they come and join you there. And we're going to have that free group where we can continue to remarket to, nurture, build rapport with, and ultimately turn them into future clients and customers, right? So now let's talk about if they didn't attend, because there's a couple of things that we're going to do if they don't attend the actual webinar, or if they left early. There's a segment. I'm a huge fan of doing hyper-segmentation, which hyper-segmentation basically means anywhere that makes sense where there's like a lot of opportunity and a lot of leverage for us to go ahead and hyper-segment out that audience on our list, being our email and text platforms, and then so that way we can tag them and ultimately know, okay, that segment of the customer, that's where they are, so that we can speak to them based upon where they are, right? Because that just makes our communications more effective when it comes to our marketing, emails, and SMS, and all our automations, right? So if they didn't attend, first thing we want to do, we want to drive them to the replay. So whatever event we just had here, I definitely like to offer replays, and the replays can be, they can have a time on it to where maybe the replays last for the next 48 hours, maybe they last for 72 hours, maybe they get access to the replays, for whatever period you see fit. That's something that can be done here. Or maybe this segment, we can continue to give them access to the replays and just keep pushing them to watch it until they drop out of whatever that time frame that we want to market to them. There's a few different opportunities, but just understand if they don't attend, first thing first, we want to get them to drive to the replay. Then after a set amount of time, if they don't attend the replay, this is where, well, of course I have here if they attend, then they would drop out of that list. If they attend the replay, they would no longer be in the didn't attend. They would then go to that attend list, and then we're back getting them to the medium. At the end of the day, all we're looking to do is get people, build rapport, and cultivate them in a way that gets them to our medium. Once we get them to watch our medium, then we're going through this process here that I'm getting ready to break down. And then let's say they don't attend that. This is what I refer to as my double dipping strategy. Let me give you a concept here. The longer you extend out the conversion cycle, the more revenue that you're going to make. So what that means is a lot of times this process that I'm about to explain, people may just X this and may say like, I'm done. They haven't came and attended my webinar, they haven't done business with me, I'm just going to forget about them. You shouldn't do that, because there's so many different things. Maybe something came up for them. Maybe it was the wrong time. Maybe they committed to it and then they forgot. There's all different types of scenarios why they haven't came and watched our medium yet. So we want to make sure that we're extending the conversion cycle as much as we possibly can in a way that makes sense so that we continue to drive conversions. So this is what I call my double dipping strategy for all 9 attendees. We gave them multiple opportunities to attend the replay, to attend the live, and they didn't. Well, what we want to do is we want to take on a different approach. We want to speak to them where they are. This is our last ditch effort to see if we can do like a cleanup campaign. And these are very effective. We generate so much revenue with this double dip strategy, which I clearly can't spell, got double spelled wrong. So I have an arrow here. We're going to have a different marketing message, marketing, email, and SMS automations to drive them back to our free webinar. And of course, the communication that we speak to them is going to be different than the communication for somebody that just registered. So, people who just registered and they go in that pre-webinar sequence, they're getting different type of communications to get them to come to this. But now we know that we're going to speak to them about maybe something came up. Hey, just wanted to reach out. And like there's all different types of communication approaches and angles that we leverage. If this is something like if you end up deciding like, hey, I want to see if I'm a good fit for Aaron and his team to build all this out for me, we would definitely build this out and implement it for you after we understand all the minor nuances in your business. We'd definitely handle that. Or I also have, like I said, if you grab my Webinar Skill and Secrets book, and you also grabbed my Academy program that comes with it, I have different templates that you can literally copy and paste that you can implement in your business as well. It all just depends on what path you're looking to take. And then, of course, if we actually have slots available at the time that you're watching this video. But nonetheless, you definitely want to leverage this, and you want to make sure that you have specific messaging for this audience, taking into consideration the stage that they're in your actual webinar funnel. Now, let's say they still don't attend this live, right? What I like to do is I like to just I like to do a repackage, repurpose. Maybe they just don't have the time. Maybe we gave them multiple opportunities, and this is done kind of simultaneously. So I have right here, we can repackage our same message, because let's say that this webinar is 60 minutes, 90 minutes, maybe max 2 hours. If you're somebody that's super duper prolific on camera and speaking from a stage, and you want to go even longer, then that's perfectly fine to continue to extend it out. But most people are going to be within that 60, 90 minutes max type of range. It depends. The reason why I kind of pause too, because it really just depends on the niche. But you gotta ultimately know your avatar. For example, there's some webinars that I've been a part of where we're intentionally marketing to a more affluent avatar. You're not getting an affluent prospect to sit on a 90-minute webinar. And we have very effective webinars where basically the core thing is already understood in about that 45 minutes. And then the next 15 minutes or so is answering some questions and then driving some application and really just cultivating that audience and building rapport. That worked for that affluent avatar, but we could have even went even shorter, which here's the opportunity here. And it's a number of niches where this can be done. But conceptually, what I want you to understand is that, again, remember, extending the conversion cycle. The longer we can extend it, the better. So we would now have another opportunity where we repackage our same webinar message that we present here into a VSL, as well as a sales letter with call to actions baked in there, all the proof, all the components that would be in the webinar, which I come break this down after I finish wrapping up this last part. All these components here would conceptually be transferred over to just a sales page or a VSL, and then you would drive those leads to that as well, so that we can make sure we're squeezing the juice off of every single lead that we're paying for, so we can maximize our traffic. Remember, traffic plus conversions equals cash. We want to be able to drive as much traffic as possible, and we want to be able to have as much conversion elements as possible so that we can bump our conversion. So there's a bump to be done here where, like I said, we would just drive them to a VSL, which would be shorter, or in a sales page as well, with call to actions to do the same thing that we want them to do here. So last but not least, remember, we got our Facebook groups. We still want to give call to action to get them to go into there for all the same reasons that I already explained, community building. And then if, this can be on whatever platform you want, but that's going to allow us to nurture our audience, present to them different offers. Hence, these are different offers right here. I mean, there's all different types. If you got low ticket offers, if you got whatever the thing is, it depends on your business, because there's some businesses that may have a plethora of different offers that they can offer outside of this main offer, but ultimately the whole goal is to eventually get them to ascend up, to this offer, or to ascend up whatever we have on the back end offer. It's all dependent on your actual business, but just know that this is the opportunity that I would really like for you to leverage with your actual webinar scaling system. Now, let's go ahead and jump into what is actually happening on the webinar. So jumping into the structure of your webinar, first things first that I want you to understand is by about 20 minutes into your webinar presentation, I want you to be into the transformational content. Basically, that's the meat and potatoes, whatever the thing is that you were really promising from the beginning on your webinar registration page, like all the outcomes that you were talking about and the transformations and the benefits of them coming that you were talking about in your emails and SMS leading up to it. Maybe there's communication that you're doing, leveraging your Facebook group. By about 20 minutes into this presentation, I want you to be to that transformational content, right? So I'm purposely telling you that first is because maybe depending on your niche, maybe your time here will be a little bit different. This is a base framework that anybody can follow, but there's always room to iterate and further tailor something specifically to the actual spokesperson at hand. But this is the core. So the first 5 to 7 minutes, everybody that just attended the webinar, our objective is to we'll go over the hook and basically transition right into the introduction, where essentially all we're looking to do is capture attention and set the stage. So right here, I have calling out their biggest pain points or their dream goal. You want to make your audience feel seen right away as soon as you get on there. Then you want to reiterate whatever your bold promise was, like set the stage, today's agenda, and go over the things that we're going to be covering. And what that bold promise is that you promised them on that initial webinar registration page, right? And then we want to quickly establish credibility. like, why should they listen to? I mean, that's where you can go over, have a few slides where you can go over like your background. You can share just little tidbits of social proof by showing, like, let's say, for example, whatever you're expert in or whatever your solution does that you've been doing for X amount of time, like you can have content right there out the gate that shows where you started and where you are now, so that way you can bring them into your actual story. And then through doing that, you're going to create curiosity, you're going to engineer engagement, you're going to get people to connect with, because at the end of the day, remember, a webinar is a connection tool, right? It's going to allow you to connect to your audience to further build trust, build rapport, build authority, build credibility, and further keep them engaged. There's going to be multiple open loops and things of that nature that you're going to be doing just by following the structure. You don't even got to overthink it. Just by following the structure, you naturally do that through your webinar presentation, and ultimately that's going to engineer more curiosity, engineer more excitement, engineer more engagement, and get them further bought into your sales presentation, your signature sales talk, aka your webinar, right? So again, spend about 5 to 7 minutes doing that. Those are some core things that should happen in that hook to introduction. And then the next 10 to 15 minutes, we want to go ahead and be talking about the big problem. You understand what your ideal avatar is going through. So expose why they're stuck. Call out some of those common struggles. Talk about the frustrations that you know they're facing. You want to show them why whatever it is that they're doing now, it isn't working. And this is applicable regardless of your niche, but you want to make sure that you tailor it, of course, to your niche, because it's not just a standard of, hey, this is what you're doing now and it isn't working. Talk about whatever those limiting beliefs are for your avatar. And then you want to introduce your new way of thinking, which is setting the stage for your actual unique method that you would be talking about. So I want to come over here and actually show you example webinar structure here, going over exactly what I'm breaking down. This is in an uncommon niche, because I don't want you to think as you're watching this, man, my niche won't work for this because I do blank. Whatever your blank is, I assure you that there's a very high probability that it'll work. So right now, we have a martial arts academy webinar structure that I want to talk to you about. So for example, going through this, pull this back up, I'm going to go over what we just talked about here so you can kind of also see the picture and get a feel for how this looks in an actual webinar presentation. So we come out, hook introduction. Did you know 1 in 5 kids are bullied every year and most don't know how to stand up for themselves? Imagine giving your child the confidence to stop bullying before it even starts. We're already talking about that big promise, what's in it for them. We're addressing like our hook statement. We're capturing the attention. We're calling out that big pain point, and then the dream goal right away, right? In this example. And then from there, we're going to go right into talking about introducing ourselves, credentializing ourselves. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the founder of Tom Martial Arts Academy. Over the past, insert the time. Remember, I talked about how long have you been doing the thing. If you're an expert at what you do, you've been doing it for some time. Let them know that. Show them proof of that. You can even have pictures. I've helped hundreds of parents or whatever your thing is, right? I helped hundreds of parents help transform their kids from scared and insecure to confident leaders using our bully prevention system. So anytime we have a statement that is about our history, if we can show some imagery, that further adds that proof component, because these are strangers. Everybody's always going to think you're lying. Anywhere where we can plug in some additional social proof is great. So this will be an opportunity to show some imagery as we're going through our slide deck of like me with hundreds of parents or kids, different images, showing my actual martial arts academy, really intertwining all those different proof components to show that I actually do the thing that I say I do. One thing that I didn't mention here, anytime that we can add in some stat, which this will fall within like just a part of calling out that big problem. Anytime we could add in some type of stat, it is a proof component. So let's say right here, this, did you know 1 in 5 kids? And then we actually show what's the credible source according to the American Association of blah, 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 like whatever the thing is, right? That's a great element to intertwine within our webinar presentation. And then remember when I said setting the stage for today's agenda, I'm talking about what's in it for them, what's the transformation, speaking to exactly where they're looking to go, and reassuring the same things that we had already talked about in the actual webinar registration page and all our emails and so forth and so on leading up. That's what we're doing here. This right here, this is kind of more tailored. Remember, there's always more custom ways to do the thing, meaning the structure of the webinar. So this may not be applicable to you, but this is just like a little stick component that we have in here for this particular bully prevention webinar, where we're just giving them a reason to stick to the end. It's always good to have some type of gift component or something that is a additional benefit to where if I spend my time with you, I'm already bought in, I'm already here, but on top of that, if I stand to the end, here's some more benefits for me. That's conceptually what this is. Now, remember I was talking about the big problem, right? So we're going into the big problem, we're calling out the problem. So here's an example of how that big problem is getting called out in this niche. Most parents tell me they're worried their child doesn't know how to handle bullies, leading to anxiety, low self-esteem, and even avoiding school. Many believe ignoring bullies make them stop. The truth, it often makes things worse. What if there's a way to address bullying before it takes a toll on your child's mental health? We're setting the stage to transition right in this instance here. This martial arts school has the ACE method. The ACE method stands for awareness, communication, and empowerment. So it's setting the stage to pre-frame and further paint the picture of what's in it for them. If they continue to listen to all the things that I'm going to be revealing on tonight's training, these are all the things we're going to be covering. This is the benefit. This is what I'm revealing. And again, this is just setting the stage. This is the introduction after we just addressed the big problem. And here's our solution, right? So we're already kind of creating that open loop and addressing all those things before we actually go into delivering the meat and potatoes. So you'll see here, introduce the new way of thinking. The new way of thinking here is the ACE method. This is the solution that we have. And of course, we would have already been creating curiosity through our email and SMS sequence. And then of course, on the webinar registration page. And then of course, in our middle funnel remarketing paid ads to people who have already registered for our event. And we want to continue to show them low budget ads to further get them more indoctrinated into the thing that we're about to be presenting to them on the webinar. So they already have some level of familiarity, like, oh, okay, I remember seeing about the ACE method. Okay, we're about to be going over all of this, so forth and so on. So again, just keeping them more engaged, because the webinar is an engagement tool and we want to use it to the best of our abilities. Remember, by about 20 minutes, we want to be jumping into the meat and potatoes. So by the time we've done all this, we're around that 20-minute mark. We're jumping right into the unique method. It's your proven framework for whatever it is you do. In this instance, the proven framework is overcoming bullying, you know, all the solutions that we just talked about for parents. But maybe your proven framework is if you're in the med spa niche and you do body transformations, and your proven framework is this non-invasive, you don't got to go through surgery process. This is body sculpting, whatever your unique process is that takes your ideal avatar from where they are now to where they want to go. Maybe it's you're looking to help new time investors get into real estate and get their first rental property, and you're going to give them the proven framework from exactly how you went from new investor to owning 50 doors, 100 doors, or whatever your thing is, whatever your authoritative thing is. Just understand you're going to introduce that framework that reveals to them how they can go from where they are now to where you want them to go and where your solution is going to take them. Ideally, it should have some type of name. You know, we always want to brand what we do and tailor it to exactly like whatever our process is. If you got a process that creates results, creates transformation, give it a name, like brand it. Leverage that as an opportunity to actually create ownership over what you're doing. Even if it's a process that like is a more common process, it's still like you have your minor nuances, because at the end of the day, we're selling and leveraging our experience. So through your experience, it can be 100 people doing the same thing. You have your own experience and your own wisdom based upon how you did the thing. So you can easily brand that. And then again, as we're going into that, our proven framework, this is where we can show more proof. We can show stats. We can show case studies. We can show logic, all the things that we need to show to further create and engineer that belief. Because back to my point that I said earlier, they're always going to think you're lying. So you want to give as much proof as possible. And this is a perfect opportunity to have all that in there. And then simple and repeatable. This is just like a language pattern that's always good to use through the webinar process. People don't like difficult. Even if there's a lot of minor nuances in a process, the fact that you've identified it into your 3 or 5 step process of how you do it, it's simple, right? It's simple because you've simplified it down. Like that's the benefit of you've been doing the thing for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and now you've got it down to a simple, repeatable process will help create belief that the process will work for them. Because not only do people naturally just think you're lying, they also have their natural skepticism. And these are all the things that we want to be overcoming right out the gate as we're going into our presentation, right? Then once we transition here, this is where we're going to go into, you know, the actual 3 to 5 5-step system. And then this is where we're going to be delivering actual value. We're going to be breaking it down, like I was saying, whatever that clear process is. And this process should make them feel progress, right? You're going to be shifting their identity from stuck, whether it's maybe they're stuck in, maybe you're in the dental niche and your ideal avatar is stuck not knowing the right solutions that they needed to take to get dental implants at a affordable way, at a fast and effective way, at a way that is less painful, or maybe like whatever the thing is that you do, right? Like you're going to speak to them from where they are, where they're stuck, and you should make your steps should make them feel that tangible progress of like, okay, I can see this path. I can see all the things that I didn't know before that I wasn't considering. And now I see how this can change my situation. And then you want to really just teach them the process. Keep it clear and actionable. You don't want to overwhelm with too much stuff. You want to intertwine your stories and metaphors and examples. And I'm going to come back over here to this example here. So we introduced our method, the ACE method, awareness, communication, empowerment. Step one, awareness. Imagine if your child could recognize the earliest signs of bullying before it grows into a bigger problem. With the right tools, they'll know how to identify the behavior and take control before it escalates. In this workshop, we're going to cover the exact process we follow here at our Martial Arts Academy to ensure your child can confidently spot the signs of bullying early and take proactive steps to address it. So what we're doing here with each one of these steps, this is kind of back what we just talked about. I'm gonna go ahead and skip through this part, but basically we're setting the stage of each of our core components, each of our steps, right? And then the content delivery with the social proof intertwined, this is where we're gonna go a lot deeper. So coming back to what I was saying here, where we're teaching without overwhelming, we're going into our process where step one, awareness. Most bullying is subtle at first. I'll show you a simple exercise to help your child recognize it early. So then from there, maybe we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slides of going over the top 3 exercises that you can do with your child to help them recognize bullying so that way they can stand up to bullying without fighting, whatever the big promise is. How do you operate? How do you identify bullying? Like, you're making them more aware. So again, just kind of simplify. We already mapped out our steps. Now we're simplifying it down through a dramatic demonstration of exactly how the thing is executed on. But in this case, the offer for the Martial Arts Academy is, instead of the parents doing it themselves, hey, allow us experts, me and my team of coaches, to do it for you. And this is the way our program works. This is the way the classes works. You can come in on the classes with your child. This is the take-home homework. It's setting the stage for all of that through this webinar, right? So we go over the steps. We're showing the examples of the different exercises. Step 2, communication. Teach your child how to use words as their first defense. Calm, confident communication often stops bullies in their tracks. And now there's a process where we can go and further build out more slides to where we're giving a demonstration over all the different best communication practices that have been proven to work. And we can intertwine social proof. So I have social proof intertwined here because we can intertwine real scenarios of how one of your clients used the process that you're teaching to get the set results. So we're intertwining case studies directly into our actionable value that we're leveraging here. That's why we have use stories, metaphors, and examples to make it relatable, because each example that we would be addressing here, that's going to be something that connects to your audience. There's going to be somebody in the audience, and you're going to be able to be doing call and response and asking them to type something in the chat if they understand, if that resonated with them, if they've ever experienced this, if you as a parent have ever experienced your child coming home and communicating this with you, is this effective for you? So you're going to really be using that call and response to engineer engagement as you're going through your content piece. Step 3, empowerment. Through fun, interactive martial arts drills, we teach kids to project confidence without aggression. So imagine if you're in this presentation and you say, here's 5 drills that you can start tonight doing with your child, and it will help you with benefit, benefit, benefit. And then you go over the drills. But then through going over the drills, we're showing the school, we're showing the Martial Arts Academy, we're showing myself as the Martial Arts Academy owner working with the different students, we're showing all of that. So we're pre-selling our service, but at the same time, we're teaching them something that they can effectively go implement right now. Then I have here examples during each lesson, incorporate applicable testimonials or case studies that illustrates the result of the lesson. Sarah's mom says, before Tom's class, my daughter cried every day. Now she stands tall and hasn't been targeted by bullies in months. So perfect example here of how we're intertwining all those components. We're teaching without overwhelming because we have it in our simple and repeatable process, 3 to 5 steps. There are some processes where in some webinars that have been very effective webinars that I've been a part of, and it's been maybe a 7-step process or a 10-step process, but preferably I would prefer you to keep it at that 3 to 5. You have to be even more of a prolific communicator to really break down 7 to 10 steps, and it can honestly get a little bit too convoluted and too confusing for the audience. And simple and repeatable is important because it's going to help create that belief that whatever it is that you do, whatever the process is, it doesn't need to be too complex for your audience as you're taking them through that webinar presentation. So I like to be around that 3 to 5 actionable steps. As you see here, our ACE method here was just 3 simple things: awareness, communication, and empowerment. And when you follow these things that we're going to be breaking down, you're going to see how you can get to XYZ benefit as a parent, for your kids, so forth and so on. So you see it's just simple, clean, impactful, and effective. So we've done that. We're 30 to 45 minutes here. And then next, this is where we're coming in and we're addressing all those objections. This is where we're going to be handling any form of doubts. We can do this through going over common myths. We can be addressing like, here's 7 facts about the industry that most people don't know. And then we start to go over that, and through that process, or here's 7 myths that most people don't know, common myths that people think about X, Y, and Z process, whatever your unique mechanism is, right? That's the opportunity where you can literally just still through a teaching format, you're getting over objections, but you're also addressing the things that your ideal avatar typically has skepticism around. So handle the biggest doubts that have, so that way you can address the will this work for me. Show proof of others. Again, intertwining in that social proof is always great. Show proof of others who've succeeded with the system. You're pre-framing your offer is the next logical step, making it inevitable that they want to move forward with you. And that's what you're going to be doing for the next 7 to 10 minutes. So imagine, like, let's say if you were going back to that real estate example, and let's say you're coach, your program is in the Section 8 niche, and there's people who think all these different things about how hard it is to do Section 8, or Section 8 tenants are terrible because of all these reasons, or you can never get approved for Section 8 because of all of these reasons. Whatever the thing is that is floating around in the market, maybe from some other niche, that because people are trying to create market confusion and make it seem like your thing is bad, when really that's them just trying to sell you something else. Like, that's a great opportunity for you to address any of that stuff, or just in general, any doubt that people typically have, like, is this gonna work for me? Because I heard that you can't even get approved by the Section 8 process, or whatever the case may be. So imagine you just going through as that real estate investor, showing them this is a common problem people run into, or this is a common myth that people think, but the reality is this, and this. Here's why it's this. Here's the proof that it's this. Here's many different others that I took through the same process. So is it safe to say that this is a myth? Drop a 1 in the chat if you understand that this is a myth and this is completely made up and you've been lied to. Perfect example there to destroy objections and get over any mental barriers possible that somebody may have, while also creating that yes state through your engagement, through your call and response, getting them in that agreement state to agree with you as you begin to transition into your offer. So next, as we transition to the offer, this is the bridge from teaching to the next step. You want to explicitly show the gap between where they are now, whatever the thing is that they have going on now, and where they want to be. You want to address how whatever ineffective way isn't always an option, and then delaying is just as costly, because we're framing them to get ready to make an action right now. As you do that, you're going to be positioning your solution as the best path forward. And whether it's speed, expertise, peace of mind, or guaranteed results, like whatever all the tangible benefits that you're going to be delivering with your solution, you're going to start to frame that and get their attention for you to continue to talk about the next step of the process, right? And then you definitely want to reduce any form of decision fatigue by making their next step clear and easy. So there's a common slide visual demonstration that's leveraged within webinars where you give them 2 paths. It's the fork in the road. And then you get the permission to reveal, to talk about your proven path moving forward. And then you go in to presenting your offer. And with your offer, you want to clearly explain what they get, how it works, focus on transformation. Don't talk about the futures. You want to talk about the benefits, talk about the outcome, talk about what's in it for them. Nobody cares about futures. People want to understand each bullet and component that you have within your actual, as you're presenting your offer, it needs to clearly answer, like, why do I need that? What's in it for me? What is it going to do for me? What's the benefit? And you want to make sure that you communicate that in a transformative manner. And that's why I have focus on transformations, not just the futures. You want to go ahead and stack all the value that you can around your offer, removing any forms of risk. You want to have bonuses, guarantees, credibility, again, more proof, and then your call to action, which is, again, back to whatever the thing is that we want them to do. And then we transition into our close process. There should be no questions asked in terms of, like, what do I need to do to take the next step? How do I do business with you, right? And you want to handle any final objections. If your webinar is live, that's a perfect opportunity for you to be transitioning into like a Q&A. You can have a slide deck where you're actually answering should ask questions. And then you also, hey, drop your questions in the chat. I want to make sure that anybody who's interested in signing up and moving forward, I want to make sure you get all your questions answered. If you have any questions about the process that we just broke down on how we get to X, Y, and Z result, I'm going to be spending the next 15 minutes answering all of your questions. Do me a favor and drop it in the chat. And then that process, you're just going to continue to go through that, continuously reinforcing the transformation and the urgency, and then addressing, like, why do they need to act now? And all of this is being done. You need to be speaking with confidence. You need to be speaking with conviction. And then, like I said, you're going into the Q&A, and you're going into this process here. So I know that this was a lot that I covered. I just really wanted to give you like an overview understanding so you can understand what actually transpires. What I'm going to do also, I'm going to give you a couple things with this video. If you watched to this point, I really want to make sure that you understand how to structure out your webinar. 2 things. This right here, I want you to have this. So I'm going to give you this overview so you can get a feel for this. Is literally an uncommon niche. I'm going to give you a Google Doc with a ride along video that goes even deeper into this webinar, goes even deeper to how it was effectively implemented. So I'm going to give you access to this outline so that way you can watch it and see, like, oh, okay, if this can be done in this niche, I definitely can get the full picture on how I can implement it for my business. I did cover a few things in here, but it was a high level overview. I didn't want to spend too much time on this. So I'm gonna give you access to this. And then one thing that I want to make sure you have is a good webinar hook. I have an actual ebook that has, this is free, by the way. I have an actual ebook where I cover like, it's like 40 different niches that I go over, and I give different hooks with proven structures and proven frameworks. So you can get a feel for like, how should I create my webinar hook for whatever the thing it is that I do. So you're going to see a button below where you can get access to that. So other than that, if you're watching this video and you're interested in having me and my team build out all of this for you, like literally writing your webinar, building out your funnels, building out your emails, building out this entire system that I broke down, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes just talking to you about that offer and then making sure that you understand the next steps that you need to do if you're interested in that. And remember, this is like an application because a couple things needs to happen here. I need you, if we have slots available at the time that you're watching this video, I need you to first apply. I'm going to ask some detailed questions about your business so then that we can do our audit and we can see, ultimately just see if it's a good fit on your side and our side, because we just don't want to, like, I'm not interested in just working with any and everybody. I want to make sure that you actually have something to where it's like, okay, I see how me and my team can actually help you scale this up and take this to the next level and help you get to the goals where you're looking to go. That's the first thing. And then, like I said, we actually have to have the slots available because this is a very high touch, hand holding type of process. We're doing a lot in this. So let's jump right into this. So first things first, all of the email and SMS automations, you're going to get, like, I have a custom tech solution that allows me to integrate all of the things that I broke down in the most seamless way, and you're not going to have to worry about any of the minor nuances of like Zapier breaking and things misfiring. And like, for example, we're able to maintain above industry show rates for the webinars that we run because of this tech solution that I'm going to be providing to you. And it is my proprietary tech. I have a full staff team of developers, and we're going to plug and play, and you're going to be able to get the plug and play frameworks, and we're going to install that directly into your business. Then the webinar presentation winning frameworks. So we're going to provide winning frameworks and teach you exactly how to hold a first-class webinar that produces hundreds or thousands of new customers, depending on your industry. On top of that, we're going to write your entire webinar slide deck for you. Then we're going to also be doing audits. We're going to be walking you through. We're going to be getting on Zoom meetings with you to make sure that you understand how to implement your tailored custom presentation. Yeah, in this video, I did give you the framework of like what needs to transpire. I know that was a lot I covered, and I'm also providing you 100% free this templated out structure here, as well as some hooks. So you can definitely take that and leverage it and have the inspiration. If you want us to just build all that out for you, we will handle that for you. Now, when it comes to actually creating the content that we need to use for our advertising, that's known as like ad creatives. Like, so we're going to give you different scripts and different angles where educate you how to actually create the ads that you need to create. There's different stages of the advertising funnel. I have an amazing video on YouTube. I highly recommend you going and watching, and I think it's labeled traffic plus conversion equals cash. I'll probably end up sending you an email and emailing this video to you anyways. But if you want to understand this on a deeper level, I have a video where I break down what needs to happen at the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel from an advertising standpoint, and the different ads that we want to run to the audience to speak to them and meet them where they are. Because yeah, there's a website funnel, but there's also the ads funnel, and that allows us to indoctrinate our prospects into our mechanism that we're offering and that we're selling in a strategic way. And then there's different scripts. Of course, you're always going to be testing and iterating on new scripts and new angles to get new concepts working in the market that you advertise to get traffic to your business. We write all those for you, right? We write all the scripts, we write all the angles, we send them over to you, we go back and forth to make sure that it's fitting for your business so that way you can film them, and then we can go ahead and push them out into the market. Now, we got front end and back end offer development. So all the offers that I was talking about when it comes to like those front end offers, that bridge offer, that Bodo offer, seeing if it's a good fit for your business. If you don't have a back end offer and you want to further build out more in the back end, we also will audit and look into your business and see where there's areas for us to get a bump and building out a back-end extension if that's something that you want to do. At some point, most businesses should all get to that point where they have more back-end solutions so that we can focus on increasing LTV as well as increasing LV on the front end. That's something that we will do completely for you. Then I have conversion rate audits. I got a fully staffed team of copywriters, and we spend a lot of time, like me personally, I obsess over data. Like, this is a data-driven game. Like, data is king, and I'm unemotional with it. I just look and see what the data is telling me, and that's one of the things, like from an audit standpoint, once you fill out our application form and send over the information about your business, the only thing I want to look at is I want to understand this business, understand what they're doing, and I want to understand, are we a good fit to serve them? If we're not a good fit, I don't want your money. I'm going to let you know. We have a simple, email process. We'll send out, we'll say, hey, we're not a good fit, and here's the reasons why. And that's our process. And then we'll let you know, or we'll say, hey, we see that there's something here that we can do together, and we'll invite you to our Platinum Partner webinar call where we can further talk deeper about what it is that we can do for you. But this is also something that we do on an ongoing basis because we're always iterating, always optimizing. I'm sure that you know, if you're in the online marketing space in any capacity, things are always changing. And having a team that has been in this space, that have done what you're looking to do. I've personally helped businesses over my career of marketing and advertising and servicing businesses. I've helped businesses collectively generate over $150 million. So having that expertise in your back pocket for us to audit your business and help guide you through the process of iterating and optimizing as time goes on, that's invaluable. And we're going to be doing that for you, right? Next, we're going to build out whatever funnels you need, again, from the front end, the back end, the low ticket offers, the high ticket offers, the refer a friend, like whatever landing pages that we need to best implement for your business. The VSL page that I talked about for repackaging and repurposing our message on the back end and extending our conversion cycle. We'll build all that out for you, right? So high converting sales funnels built for you. Then we have paid traffic campaigns plus diversification. So we'll just completely manage your advertising across multiple channels. We'll start off on Facebook, get Facebook working. Then I like to transition over on TikTok. We'll also have some Google ads running. And ultimately, we're looking at just, again, traffic plus conversions equals cash. We're looking to help you scale up whatever it is you're doing through paid traffic. Yeah, organic is great, but when it's all said and done, when you really want to grow, you want to introduce traffic, and we'll manage that for you on an ongoing monthly basis, managing your traffic. Now, this is a bonus here that I have. It may or may not be applicable to your business because it may not make sense to do a newsletter. But basically what this is an opportunity to where all the leads that we're generating, because remember, on the front end of our webinars, we're collecting name, email, phone number. So this is a massive lead magnet where we're generating all types of leads. Let's say that we're averaging a 30 to 35% show rate, right? That other percentage that's not showing up, yeah, we're going to market to them and get them to go to the replays. We're going to extend the conversion cycle, get them to go to our back end stuff, get them to go to that repurposed VSL, that repurposed sales letter. But for people who just don't take action, but they're still interested in the thing, what we do is we build out low ticket newsletters where, let's say if you have a $10 a month or a $20 a month newsletter, it's a great stick component, one, and then it allows you to have buyers on your newsletter, and you would give them specific message that ultimately it just is going to continue to educate them, continue to get them more bought into whatever the thing is, it is that you do. Like, it'll turn into like a pool of just more educated prospects. The more and the better that you can educate your prospect, the better. So what we do is we just build out a newsletter business for you. And the number one goal here is for you to build a brand. Once we get prospects into your ecosystem, we want them to stick and ascend one way or another. And if they're on our list and they want to get even more higher value content than the regular list, than the regular content that we're going to be emailing out regularly for you, we offer this newsletter. But again, we'll see if it makes sense for your business. Then last but not least, you get a long-term growth partner at the end of the day. So not only do we get your webinar business up and running and ready to scale, but we establish a long-term relationship with you to achieve whatever that future success looks like. We can constantly keep iterating. We're partners at the end of the day. We'll continue to iterate on new ideas. We'll talk things over, and we really will help guide you, because a lot of times, it's one thing to have a lot of ideas. It's another thing to assess the ideas and see if it's an actual idea that's worth you implementing right now in your business, because we're real big on making sure that we're focusing, like, the power of one is very effective. We want to make sure that, like, yeah, there's going to be so much opportunity that comes around you as you begin to build out your webinar driven business. We'll help guide you through all those different opportunities and make sure that, like, you're taking into consideration your business economics in all capacities to see if it's a good decision for your business. But I know a lot of this stuff, that's why it's important for us to first audit it once you fill out the application, and then we invite you to that Platinum Partner webinar call if it's a good fit, because a lot of this stuff, it will need to be tailored to your business depending on, like, for example, a dentist will be completely different than a real estate investor that's looking to scale their real estate program. So there's going to be minor nuances of things that I'm communicating here, but just understand all of this is at your disposal, and we're ultimately going to install all of this into your business completely done for you. So below this video, or you will see the link popping up somewhere on the screen where you're going to have two different links. So you're going to have a link to where you're going to be able to fill out an application if you're interested in seeing if you're potentially a good fit to work with me and my team. You can go fill out the application, and like I said, you'll hear back from us after we audit it and everything. That's the first link. And then you're also going to see the link to where you're just going to have to go to the page, and you're going to see where you can get access to, like I promised, the ebook that has all the hooks, and then that webinar structure of that bully prevention webinar, so you can really kind of compare and contrast. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Real quick before we wrap up, if you're watching this video right now on YouTube, I truly hope you found this video valuable. And whether or not you decide to implement every single thing that I broke down, I'm sure that there's some nuggets that you can walk away with. And I would love to hear from you. If there's anything that you have further questions on, do me a favor and drop them in the comment section. I'm going to be responding to everybody personally because I want you to implement webinars. Like I said, whether you decide to work with me first, I got to have slots available. I don't know when you're watching this video at the time of you watching it. I may not even have slots available, but you can always apply and be on my wait list. But that's beside the point. Either way it goes, I want you to understand that webinars can change the trajectory of your business. Like, people say webinars are dead. It just makes no sense at all because it's literally a medium. There's 3 core components that every business needs in order to grow and scale their business. You need a market. You need a hungry market where you can actually, like, you got to have an audience, right? You got to have an audience where there's demand for the thing that you do. So if you got a market, then you need your message, right? And one of the things that we help the businesses that we work with, we help them create and refine their message. But at the end of the day, you have a message, you have a story to tell, you have a problem that you solve. Once you have the right market, you have the right message, then all you need is the medium. And a webinar is a medium. It is a form of engagement. It is a form to connect with your audience at scale, one-to-many in a group setting, and not have to talk to every potential prospect one-on-one. So regardless, implement something from this video. And if you got any questions, like I said, drop them in the comment section. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I'm new to this YouTube space and I'm going to be continuing to put out more and more value. I'm going to be dropping videos every single week, and I would love to hear from you and I would love to connect with you. And if you saw this video on my landing page, well, you know what to do. There's multiple steps. I gave away some bonuses as well. Click the link. There's call to actions there that'll take you to everything that I said that I was going to provide you for free. And then as well as you see my application to where you can find out if we're a good fit to work with each other. So that's it for this video. Signing off. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.